Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. This is going to be this week's vendor reset. It's currently the 18th of August 2020. This week at the Base of Ops front desk vendor, he is selling the Anarchist Cookbook. This one has 170,000 armor, which is max, 4.4 crit chance, and 5.6 skill damage. This also is perfectly wicked. Applying a stats effect increases total weapon damage by 18% for 27 seconds. So if you guys want to combine this with something like the Pyromaniac or set stuff on fire, this is a really nice backpack to have, and I'd highly recommend picking up if you do not have it. Or you guys can always farm the loot allocation areas to get your hands on a better one. Now, I will scroll to a few more things if you're curious to see exactly what the roles are in some of these items, but I'm not going to cover each one. And that's going to be it for the front desk vendor. Next up is going to be the clan vendor. If you guys are not in a clan, you will not have access to this vendor. Keep that in mind. This week, he's selling the White Death Sniper Rifle, which this one has fast hands, rate of fire, 137% headshot damage, which is on the named weapon, and 11% marksman rifle damage. If you guys do not have this, I'd highly recommend getting it, but obviously you can farm for a better one if you want to try to get your hands on one with better rolls. I will scroll through more things here if you want to see these exactly what they're selling. They are selling Araldi gloves with max weapon damage if you guys are trying to get max weapon damage on gloves. Highly recommend adding these to your stat library. And overall, that's going to be pretty much about it for the clan vendor. Next up is going to be the Theater Settlement. This week, he is selling the Firm Handshake gloves. These ones have pretty low weapon damage. It's not up like in the 15%, but you guys can always change the explosive resistance to something like critical hit chance if you guys want to make a stats effects style build. And I'd highly recommend picking these up if you guys do not have them. Next up is going to be these Finish gloves with max armor regen. So if you guys want to make an armor regen build, I'd highly recommend picking up these gloves and adding the roll to your stat library. After that, that's going to be pretty much about it for the Theater Settlement. Guys, next up is going to be the Campus Settlement. This week he is selling, or she is selling, the Quiet Roar. This is a LMG. This is the Stoner with Perfect Overwhelm. Suppressing an enemy grants 12% weapon damage for 12 seconds. Max stack is 4. So if you guys don't have this, I'd highly recommend getting it, but the stat rolls on this are pretty low. And I'll scroll through for the rest of the items if you guys want to see if any of these pique your interest. Overall, that's me pretty much about it for the Campus Settlement. Alright guys, next up is going to be the Dark Zones. And if you guys do not have DZ credits, that's what you'll need to buy some of the items from these vendors. You can get these from extracting deconstructed items in the DZ, or just opening tiny little boxes in each Dark Zone you guys can find scattered all over the area. This week, he's selling the Everlasting Gaze. This is the perfect preparation. Headshots grant 50% stats effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. Cooldown is 16 seconds. The stats on this are pretty low, so I highly would not recommend picking this one up. Double-barreled shotgun with pumped up. This one's not too bad if you guys are trying to find a shotgun. And also pumped up is the talent that was replaced, if I remember correctly, with one of the original talents in the game. UIC 15 with killer. This one's not too bad also if you guys are to find a pretty okay-ish rifle. But other than that, standard clips gloves, True Patriot knee pads, Golden Gear gloves, 511 knee pads, shock resistance, healing for the Seeker, extract material for the holstered regen, the guiding system for the Firefly, and the decoy protection internals for the decoy. Alright guys, next up is going to be DZ South. This week she's selling the Zero's F Badger Tough chest piece. This one has double yellows. I would not getting this, which is perfectly unbreakable. And I'll scroll through some of the other items so you guys can see real quick. One thing that's really nice is this rate of fire on the FAMAS if you guys are looking for rate of fire and you haven't been able to find it. This one's almost max if you guys want to pick this up just for the RPM roll. Hardwire backpack, which has max hazard if you guys are trying to make a hazard protection build. And max crit chance on this Sokolov backpack if you guys are trying to make a critical hit chance build. Other than that, that's going to be about it for DZ South. Alright, the final DZ on the list is going to be Dark Zone East. And this week, she is selling the Pinprick Sniper Rifle. This one has pretty decent marksman rifle damage and not that great of headshot damage, which is still pretty low in the stat range, and the damage to target off cover is pretty low, but you can max out the damage to target or change it to something else you like, and you guys can make the sniper rifle work if you really want to test it out. After that, I'll scroll through a few more things so you guys can see exactly what she's selling if you want to pick up any of these items for yourself. Other than that, that's going to be about it for the Dark Zones.
Guarding location nearby.
Alright guys, the final stop on the list is going to be New York, and he's not selling any named weapons, keep this in mind. If you guys need any of these items, then I'd highly recommend picking them up, or if you need any of the talents, then add to your stat library. But this week, he's selling Big 716, which this one has max critical damage if you're trying to find max critical damage for a rifle. And other than that, he's selling a few other items. If you guys need any of these, then I'd recommend getting them. If you guys want to go through here, and then take a left, and go through this tent, and take a right, you'll see Roy Benitez at the very end, and he's the last vendor on the list.
What can I do?
This week, he's selling pretty much your basic stuff, an MP5N with ignited, close and personal sniper rifle, SOCOM M1A, Mercari backpack, pretty much just basic stuff. If you guys need any of this, I'd recommend getting it, but overall, he's not selling really anything that great. But this week's vendor reset, there's a few things you guys might want to pick up and add to your stat library, but overall, that's pretty much going to be about it. There wasn't anything really crazy that was for sale. But thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys all later.